Welcome back, Meg here. Today I'm going to show you how to make some Jack Skellington cupcakes as well as a cake. To make your Jack Skellington cake and cupcakes, first we are going to start by actually making the cake batter. So for this, you're going to start with 2 cups of flour and then add in a half a teaspoon of salt and 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Mix this up, and then in a separate bowl, you are going to want to cream your sugar and butter. It's going to be 1.5 cups of sugar and 1 stick of room temperature unsalted butter. Cream that until the butter and sugar is well combined. Now you're going to add 3 eggs. Mix that once again, and then start adding in your dry mix. Once that's all mixed up, you can add in 1 cup of milk and also 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and just mix this up until everything is combined. Now you can line your cupcake pans with your wrappers and scoop this mix into your pans. This will make 24 cupcakes. You will want to repeat this process to make your cake. This same amount of mix will make 2 8-inch cakes. And to prep those pans, you'll just want to spray them lightly with nonstick spray, and then also take a circle of parchment paper, put that right down on the bottom, and just spray it lightly once again. For both of these, you'll want a 350-degree oven. Your cupcakes are going to take about 25 minutes. The cakes are going to take about 35 minutes. Now you can make your chocolate buttercream frosting. You can use any frosting you like. I just like this chocolate. So for that, you're going to start by creaming together 1 cup of butter, room temperature, and also a half cup of cocoa powder. Cream that up until you get a dark chocolate paste, and then start adding in your powdered sugar. It's going to be 5 cups in total. You'll also put in 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and just fold that with a spatula so it doesn't fly all over the place, and also add in 4 tablespoons of milk. Once that's mixed up well enough, you can start using your electric mixer or a stand mixer to whip that up until it's nice and fluffy. And if it's a little too dry, you can add a little bit more milk, or if it's a little too wet, you can add a little bit more powdered sugar. Once your cakes and your cupcakes are cool, you can frost them both, and that 1 batch of chocolate buttercream will be enough to frost your cakes as well as your cupcakes. Just put a little bit on your cupcakes, and then you'll have enough to frost a thin layer between your 2 cakes and enough to go around your entire 8-inch cake. Now you'll want to start making the decorations for both your cake and your cupcakes. So you'll want to roll out a large enough circle of white fondant to cover your 8-inch cake, and you'll also want to roll out enough to make your toppers for your cupcakes, and just use a small cutter to cut out little circles that'll be big enough to top your cupcakes. Then you'll also want to roll out some black fondant and just use a small cutter for the eyes of the cupcake. I used a circle here, and then I just trimmed a little bit off the top with an X-Acto knife to get the shape that I wanted. You could also just use an X-Acto knife and go freehand for the whole thing, but that would be extremely time consuming. Now you want to cut out a small strip and then cut small triangles for the noses on your cupcake toppers, and then also just roll out long noodle shapes for the mouth, and then smaller noodles for the cross hatches of his mouth. Once you have all the decorations on your white circles, you can go ahead and put those right on top of your cupcakes. If you're making the cake as well, you'll want to cut out your shapes with that black fondant as well, his eyes, his nose, and his mouth, and also take some of that black fondant and just roll some little balls and use some water to put those in place right around the border of the cake. This is definitely a great cake for a birthday, for a Halloween party, any occasion. This will definitely make your guests happy. I made these for my big sister for her birthday, and they were definitely a hit. If you make them at home, post the photos on my Facebook page and subscribe so you can see my new videos every Wednesday and Saturday.